You're at the Tyndall Forge. I'm Zane Tyndall. This is my friend Will. We're here. He brought me a beer. This is kind of a new segment I think I want to try. I think this is our maiden voyage, and Will was like, "Hey, sign me up. I'm here for it."
Most definitely.
So, what do you know about this beer?
I actually don't know too much about this beer. A friend of mine in Buffalo, New York, actually told me about Omme. I hope I'm actually pronouncing that correct.
Okay.
They're in Cooperstown, New York. Cooperstown is located in between Syracuse and Albany, one of the two biggest cities outside of New York City. But what I know about Omme is that they specialize in Belgian-style ales, and I know that the organics that the ingredients they use are organic and local. So other than that, I really don't know too much about this brewery.
Okay, well,
The beer I picked out for you today is called Three Philosophers. It is a blended ale of 98% of their Belgian-style ale and the Leifsman Crike.
okay.
Interesting.
Okay, different words. Do we need a weapon to get this open?
No,
Do we
this is
need?
the-
Oh, look at Mr. Fancy here. I've never had a beer with a cap like that. Well,
There you
thank you. Oh, little champagne. That could have been fatal. All right. I didn't do the. I wanted to call these off the anvil reviews, so.
Wow, look at that color.
Yeah, I already smell it. It smells very... So, it's very, very... Oh my... Okay, so I get a very sour... It's almost like a barley wine or something.
I want to say... Oof, like, you can really... I want like sweet malts, sort of like, and dark fruits like cherry, plum, I want to say.
Prune, fig,
Really, yeah.
raisin.
Wow.
We're doing this outside. If you guys can hear my neighbors, I'm so sorry. But
And this is a 9.7%. You really don't actually smell that boozy alcoholic kind of smell that you would actually think that such a high percentage would have.
But I'm thinking, like, you know how sometimes if you get into wine and so the fruit notes can mask the alcohol? That's what I'm thinking.
Definitely.
Like dates, raisins. It's very like barley wine. I don't know. Have you had Troganator before? Of course you
Yes.
I get a little bit of Troganator thing going on with it if you can get that.
Yeah, definitely.
Very, very sweet. Very. You want to try it?
Let's try it, man.
All right then. Cool.
Ooh.
Okay. Not that bad. Now this is going into a direction of beer that I don't usually go into.
Definitely.
I would definitely say, because my friends have been getting into barley wines and stuff like this. This is more. I feel like, if flavor-wise, it's getting into a barley wine.
Yes, I mean, this is pretty much I want to say it's the stereotypical taste of barley wine. This is pretty much exactly what I would say. Very sweet, very has really boozy aftertaste.
It's got a little bit of a sour note on the end, almost like a cheap red wine. I could see some like people that wouldn't be into your typical like craft brews, like your IPAs, or even some of your darker, more heavier stouts being really into this. You could take this over to a wine person's house and they'd be like, "Oh, well, what is this?"
Oh yeah, this beers like this, like barley wines, could I really put wine drinkers and craft beer drinkers into two separate categories.
Yeah, me too.
But this definitely could be a gateway drug
for
a wine taster to come into the craft beer world. Yeah, this is really good. This is surprising. As soon as I actually read Belgium, I thought it was.
It doesn't taste anything like Belgium. When you say Belgium, what do you think of? Blue Moon.
Blue Moon.
Blue Moon. So, and this tastes nothing like Blue Moon. Maybe in Belgium they make all kinds of different. Maybe it's a Belgian-style brewery and they make all kinds of different Belgian beers. I have no idea. if you guys know anything about this brewery or this beer, let us know. This is yeah. So what are we rating this? This is, I will say this, I like it, but this is not my cup of tea.
No, definitely not. But I'm just mainly surprised. Like,
Yeah.
First off, because I expected this to go a completely opposite direction.
Yeah. I mean,
But I mean,
it's almost even got the color of like a
yeah,
wine,
it's like a little
too.
grapefruit tinge to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. So I'll let you go. You want me to go first since it's...
Go ahead.
I'm going to give it a mid... I want to give it a low 7. Not my cup of tea. I can see where other people would get down on this. How much did this cost, by the way?
This pint was $13. Very pricey.
That is very pricey. So I'm very okay with my low 7, even maybe a high 6. Like I don't know. You've watched my other shows.
Yeah.
I'm really like hard pressed to, because there's always like an alternative. You know, there's always a cheap. I always find that there's a cheaper alternative.
Well, that's just it. I mean, there is really no place for sympathy in the craft beer world, because all it takes is one little mistake, and some other brewery has fixed that mistake, and they have an award-winning beer.
I like that. I like that because that's a spot.
So honestly,
wow, that's
your reviews to all beers have to be very point blank, and
yeah. So I'm gonna give this a high 6. I have to, man. I don't know. I mean, it's good, but it tastes a little bit too much like wine for me.
Yeah. I gotta agree with you. I'm gonna give it just a flat 6, because honestly, I mean, it doesn't appeal to my personal tastes, but I mean, it does have. I could see somebody who maybe enjoys wines or enjoys, like. This is honestly, in my opinion, a Hefeweizen with fruit added to it and a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
So it's not really anything that shocks me for it. The price is ungodly. I would much rather buy a freaking 12-pack at that price.
Yeah. You could get. In some places, you can get a case of beer with the right kind of beer. You can get a case for
Natural
that.
ice.
Yeah. Yeah, some National Bohemian or something like that.
Heck yeah.
So, just one last thing. What kind of food would you pair with this?
I really don't know.
I wouldn't pair it. Maybe chocolate cake or something. You think that?
Probably. I'd say.
I wouldn't go meat or anything.
Oh God, no. No. This honestly, I hate to say it because I don't really believe in such a thing, but this is something that you would probably drink at the end of the day, probably dessert.
Stand alone. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to rate this, subscribe, let us know your love for Will. Tell him to come back. Tell him to be in another video.
I'll try to bring some more New York style beers down here, but
okay.
Awesome.
Rate, comment, subscribe, and as always, peace be with you. Oh, make sure you check out the Facebook. Say hi to Will on our Facebook page.